All right, we are recording.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, jeez. Hi, I'm Farmer Gil.
And I'm Farmer Chris.
And welcome back to Johnson's Corner
Farmcast.
Today we're doing something a little bit different.
Yeah, a little different.
We haven't done an episode just me and you yet.
No.
We're kind of getting back to our roots.
Yeah, going back old school.
Yeah.
The days of how to cook with a farmer.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. So for those of you that
memories.
don't know, Chris and I have been doing silly videos on the internet for
Man.
almost 10 years.
Yeah, probably pushing
I
10
wasn't
years.
married when we first started doing videos.
No.
So yeah,
And we looked young.
we did look
Yeah,
young
I had hair.
and well rested before kids. Oh my goodness.
How to cook with a farmer was classic, too.
It was.
I had some of my students actually find it when I was teaching, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, Mr. Quinn, you were on a cooking video?"
we filmed
kinda.
the first one on, I think it was like an old Samsung 7 phone that I had.
Oh, yeah.
And we thought we were like super cool.
Yeah.
And
it was at your old house?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh jeez.
It was great.
Yeah, that was a good one. But
The old
yeah,
days.
getting back to doing videos with just you feels good, feels natural.
Yeah.
I think we can be a little bit more goofy sometimes.
Yeah.
But having guests on is great because to learn new things, but I like doing this too.
Yeah. This is
So.
super cool.
So
one of the things we're going to talk about is we're kind of in a space between crops now.
yeah, this is an awkward time of the year. And honestly, with the weather we've been getting, it makes it a little bit more awkward because there's some gaps in the crops. The weather hasn't been great. It's been a really weird spring as far as growing goes.
Yeah. So strawberries are pretty much done.
Mm-hmm.
And we got, about 4 weeks?
Yeah, we got about 4
probably
weeks. The strawberry
45.
season, it was tough this year for everyone. We had a decent crop. Some people had better crops than we did for one reason or another, but we just couldn't get a good stretch of weather. It seems like once we caught some momentum, the customers coming out, we'd get a couple days of rain, the berries would swell up, they would rot, and everyone all around our area was kind of struggling with the same thing. So, now that strawberries are winding down and we're getting into things like blueberries, where we're standing today, right in the blueberry field. And the blueberry crop, not the best, but the blueberries on the bushes are doing great. But yeah, so we're transitioning out of strawberries into blueberries. Normally it's a little bit smoother of a transition, but there's Mother Nature's just been throwing one curveball after another at us.
Too much rain.
And I'd probably have said this before. We'd always rather be more towards the drought side of things than too much rain.
Yeah.
Because we can always irrigate and stuff like that, but we can't stop the rain. And with too much rain, it's a nightmare.
One of the crazy things is we go from rain, but then you don't get rain for a couple days, and then you're irrigating. That's one of the things that I always find interesting. Like we just put sweet potatoes in the ground last week or whatever.
Yeah, about 10 days ago.
And it was like a day or two after rain, and then irrigators are going off. So it really is so much easier to put water on the crops than to deal with.
Yeah, it's one more thing that we control.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I guess in a perfect world, if we got half inch of rain at night every other day, and that half
we need
inch came
a giant bubble.
Yeah, and that half inch came in slow, so let the water, soak in and everything. If you get a half inch of rain in 5 minutes, all that water is not going to soak in. It's going to run off. So it's tough. But yeah, a lot of people think, we get, because in the past couple weeks, we had a couple storms that produced over 3 inches of rain. And you would assume, you got 3 inches of rain on a Monday.
Yeah.
You don't have to irrigate for
a long
7 to 10 days. But
yeah.
no, we'll be throwing water on a Thursday. If we get consecutive days of 90 degrees and sunny, that water's gone.
So here's one of the things that always confuse me as a non-farmer. When you measure rain, how are you measuring? This always, like, for the longest time, I just kind of pretended like, and they were like, oh, yeah, many inches of rain.
So
tall rain.
we have the least sophisticated method, and it's a little bit above guessing. There's a rain gauge up in the barnyard.
Yeah.
And it's just like a clear cylinder, and it's got inch marks on it. And you go look at it, and you dump it out. But the problem that happens would be like, I go and look at it, I dump it out. My dad doesn't realize I looked at it and dumped it out, and he'll be like, "Oh, we only got a half inch last night." I'm like, "What are you talking about? I emptied it at 7 a.m. and it had over 2 inches in it." So there's that communication breakdown that happens regardless of what we're doing. But yeah, that seems to be a pretty good method of doing it. You know, another way you look, okay, if you wake up and there's puddles on the ground, you probably got over a half inch rain.
Yeah.
If there's no puddles, then you're probably going to need to be throwing water again, because whatever rain you got, it's gone.
So like an inch of rain is like a decent rain, like what we would think of as an okay rain.
It depends on how you get it. All right, if you get that inch over a couple hours, that's fine. That, you know, it's not.
Yeah.
And then it depends, like, okay, if we were in like a dry spell, and then we got an inch of rain overnight because the water has better time to soak in overnight.
Yeah.
And that inch of rain came over the course of, you know, over an hour, we'd be fine. If we get that inch of rain a day after we got 3 inches of rain, and we got that inch in like 5 minutes, then that's a problem.
Yeah. And then it's just runoff and evaporation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it all depends. I mean, there's so many different factors to everything. And you just kind of bob and weave and figure out what you get and change and adapt.
So we need a weather dome.
Yes.
That needs to be the next thing we build, is a weather dome. And then we control the rainfall.
Yeah, we can control the rainfall, we can control the sun, you know, all that. And if farming was easy, everyone would do it.
Yeah. That's for 2027. That's on the plans for a couple years.
We'll figure that out. But yeah, I'm excited to get done strawberries. You know, I love strawberry season. I love eating strawberries myself. But towards the end of the season, I get tired of it. I'm ready to move on, you know, to the next thing, blueberries. We had one decent day of picking cherries so far, but we'll probably have another one. Our cherry orchard's on the younger side. It's only like two years old, so it's still not in full production yet. But we're hoping in the next couple of years we'll be in peak cherry volume and being able to pick for a couple weeks. That would be awesome.
That would be sweet. But we do have a couple unsung heroes that we're currently picking. So strawberries are winding down.
Yes.
Blueberries are not there yet. And then we're currently picking 2 awesome crops that don't get people too excited, but they're awesome.
They don't get people too excited, but honestly, they get some of us excited on the farm. So we got radishes and sugar snap peas.
They're great.
And many people have heard me say this. The radish is the most underrated topping for a taco.
Oh, taco wrap.
Yes.
Do you what's it called, a julienne? Do you julienne it in like the matchsticks?
No,
I think it's called a julienne.
I prefer a sliced one.
Oh, you just go round.
So because you get the spice. A fresh radish is actually pretty spicy.
Oh, they have
it kind of has like the horseradish kick to it, where it doesn't last long, but it's like, whoa, clears your nostrils, and then you're good to go.
Yeah.
No, I like the spice it adds to a taco, and then also the crunch, and it just gives like a fresh, like.
The crunch of a fresh radish is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then you have the spice in the back end. Fresh radishes are great, and super underrated is radish greens. Most people rip them off and throw them out.
Yeah.
I love radish greens. Olive oil, salt, pepper, and then, just saute them down. They're great. They go from like, you have a ton, it looks like you have a ton, and then you saute them down, and then you have like enough for 1/2 of one person. But they're still good.
Yeah, forgive me because I know I'm on my phone right now, but if you know anything about what I do, my phone is blowing up constantly. For one thing or the other, but you can keep talking
about radishes.
I wish it was as simple as radishes.
It's radish news. We have urgent radish news coming in. But anyway, while Gil's dealing with radish news, the other crop that we have, like Gil said, is sugar snap peas.
Yes.
and they are delicious. Another the thing about the radishes and snap peas is like they're amazing fresh, and they're they're veggies. Like sometimes the people are like, "What do I do with this?" I'm like, take it home and wash it and then eat it. Like that's all you got to do.
Yeah, the sugar snap peas. I think it's because the pea is in the name. People get like weirdly intimidated by them and don't either pick a lot of them. Or, like you said, they pick them and they don't know what to do with them. So you can eat them fresh. I mean, I go out there with with the boys, and they eat them.
Yeah.
Saute them up with a little bit of olive oil, salt and pepper. Forget about it.
And they're fun to pick too.
Mm-hmm.
You get and radishes too. You get like this. You either pop the peas off the vine, or you pull the radishes out of the ground. You get you're like, oh my god.
A lot of I've talked to like other farmers who aren't in the pick your own business, and some of the things we do pick your own, like radishes or potatoes or sweet potatoes, they think we're crazy for doing it. And I'm like, think about it. You're having a customer go out to your field and dig something up. They love it.
Oh yeah,
especially little kids.
Yeah.
Maybe even the kids will eat it. Who knows? But
potatoes are awesome that way because it's like they're like straight up fully in the dirt. Like you need to dig them out of the dirt. Sometimes we have trouble finding the right shovel because we have these aluminum ones that fold it over left and right.
Yeah,
it was actually the plastic ones that worked the best.
Yeah,
plastic with the spade tip. We got to invest in more of those next year.
We'll figure it out because then
company.
Speaking of rain. What we were talking about, when it gets really dry in the summer and hot, the ground gets so hard, you can't get to the potatoes.
Yeah.
And typically, like, a big potato wholesale operation, they have a machine that digs them up.
Yep. Yeah.
People in the potato world making potato chips, they're not out there digging them with shovels.
And they're all just coming up in one go.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's why it's fun.
It's a cool thing.
It's awesome watching kids field trips dig potatoes out of the ground. Super cool. So along those lines, we have potatoes in our summer garden. What else do we have coming up in the summer garden?
So in the summer garden, we'll have tomatoes. We'll also do zucchini. We'll do zinnias. We're trying snapdragons this year. They're kind of like an up-and-coming flower.
Yeah.
There'll be all those things are available in like the same field, so customers will be able to get off the hayride, see how we grow all these different crops, be able to pick them. So we always try to have a nice variety for people to pick when they come out. We don't want them to come out and just have, just do a potato digging hayride.
Yep.
Yeah. Some people may find that exciting. I know I don't. So that's why we add in the other things. We'll also have sunflowers out there too. And then sweet corn should be in. We probably won't make the 4th this year. That weather that we were referring to delayed everything. So there's a couple things that happen when a crop gets delayed. So we've talked about this in previous episodes, but succession planting. Mm-hmm. So that's like you plant a block of corn, and then a couple days later, 5 to 7 days later, you plant another block of corn. And when I say block, it's like a section of a field.
Yeah.
So that's so the corn doesn't get ready all at the same time. So when you have something get delayed, like let's say your first block is delayed, it ends up merging with your second one.
Gotcha.
So then that succession that you hoped would come in, corn, a new block of corn every 5 to 7 days, all happens at the same time.
And then you wind up with too much at
one time.
Too late, and then the next day you're too much.
So because of that, you'll see like the wholesale market price will drop. Oversupply, all that stuff. So the right now, the easiest way to see it is in our tomatoes field. Our first and second block.
Yeah.
If you didn't really know, you would think they were all planted at the same time.
Yep.
Because the first ones we put in there on a nice hot sunny day.
Yep.
And then temperatures dropped, rain, cloudy for like 2 straight weeks, and they didn't grow that much.
And what was the spread between those two? Like 10 days? 14?
No, they were like they were seeded like 25 to 30 days apart.
Oh, wow, really?
And now they're like neck and neck.
Oh, that's super interesting.
Yeah.
So the tomatoes too. I did a YouTube short about the tomato trellises a few weeks ago. And it was one of the ones that got me a lot of views. I felt pretty good about that one. But it is the tomato trellis system is really cool. Do you want to just talk about how that system? Where did it even come from? Where did we even find out about the system?
I don't even. I mean, it's just something people have always done. I
It's
mean,
super
I hate.
cool.
I hate to say, there's things like, oh, that's the way you've always done it. That's why we do
Yeah,
it. But like,
yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
And I know that a lot of my friends that grow tomatoes, they grow them this way. Yeah. So putting the stakes, we put stakes in between each tomato plant.
Yeah.
Because I like to grow big,
Yeah.
fat, juicy tomatoes.
Yeah.
So some people go every other plant, which you can do. Just sometimes it can't hold
Yeah.
the weight of it. Yeah, and
yeah.
and we don't grow. We grow, not even an acre of tomatoes.
Yeah.
So it's not a
you
big
can
deal
put
for
the
us to
time
go
Yeah.
in every plant. Now, if I was growing like 50 acres of tomatoes, I would probably be like, yeah, I'll go every other plant because that's
Yeah.
going to save me so much time and
Yeah.
money because each one of those stakes costs money.
Yeah.
So for the way we grow, it makes more sense to
And
do it
it's
that
a
way.
lot of time for the farm boys too.
Mhm,
They're hammering
mhm.
stakes in.
Yeah.
Yeah, the hot day. Well, the second planting they did on a way cooler day
Yes,
too. And I think
yes.
they probably
So
loved
yeah,
it.
we hammer all the stakes in by hand, but there's actually machines that'll do it.
Oh,
That put them
really?
in and take them out. If you're
Oh,
planting
just-
a lot, yeah.
And it just crawls like on a
No,
on a tractor,
actually,
or
so
is it-
there's a couple different things I've seen is like it kind of like pushes them in like that, and then another thing I've seen is like it's an air compressor, and the
Oh,
lines come off
no
the truck,
way.
and it's a hammer. It goes. Brr, brr.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, we actually made one a couple years ago, but it was just getting the stakes were getting stuck in
Oh,
it, and we're
gotcha.
just like we'll just hammer them in because
Yeah.
we don't do,
No,
Well,
yeah.
it would speed up the job by like maybe 2 hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
Might as well just do it by hand and get it done,
Yeah.
instead of having all those issues. Because then you have to move the air compressor, which is in the truck, and it just creates a whole other thing. I can just give the pile of sticks and the hammer to one of
Yeah.
the guys and
They
just say
just
go.
drop 'em in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it depends, but I, like I was saying, if I did 50 acres,
Oh yeah.
I would
Straight
absolutely,
tomato farm.
no one would want to hammer all those stakes in.
All right, so yeah, we got the summer garden. Summer garden won't be for another couple weeks or so.
Yeah, I'm trying to open this water here, and I'm really struggling.
Yeah, this is
hold my
the
microphone.
unplanned. Yeah, am I going to create a crazy loop if I talk into both? That's one of the things we're definitely learning all the tech stuff. I think you've done an awesome job, though. I must say, on all the tech stuff.
Oh, thank you, Christopher.
When we had Kevin on, he was a self-admitted what do you say, sound nerd.
Yes.
And I think we've done pretty good becoming sound nerds. Maybe not me. I
We
just
have,
like the sound
and-
of it. I don't actually know anything that's going on.
Yeah, and
with the tech.
honestly, although this episode wasn't like fully planned and scripted, I also didn't account for it being 90 degrees out here, and I'm dying right now.
Yeah,
Not used to
it's
this.
vicious.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
with
thanks for
that-
helping me get my water open.
Should we wrap this one up? Should we end with a song?
Blueberries.
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 Blueberries. Come pick them when they're blue.
Don't pick them when they're green.
Yeah, don't pick them when they're green.
I'm struggling with that with my boys. They'll just pick them all and they eat them.
Oh, yeah, the green
I mean,
ones.
they eat them.
I
so
don't
it's
think
not
I've
the
ever
end of
had
the
a
world.
green one. What do they even taste
They're
like?
like sour,
sour?
but not like a good sour. It's not like like one of those warhead candies. Like that's like
Oh.
a good sour. Like I don't even know if you want
my
to call
gosh.
that. It's not like that.
Do you remember eating those and like eating multiple at a time and then
In the
Oh,
roof of your
man.
mouth is like burned off.
yeah.
It's horrible.
Ugh,
But
warheads.
anyway, thanks for
On that
tuning
note.
in to episode 5.
Yeah, the short version. We'll see you guys soon.
See ya.
Should we overlay some blueberries? Blueberries.
Don't eat them green. Don't eat them green.
Berries.
Don't eat them green.
Berries.
Don't eat them
Berries.
green. Woo, 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 woo.
Oh yeah.
All right, sweet. That was dope.
Oh, 20 on the button too.